Two worlds. Two different species. And how do you bridge that gap? You believe.
Meanwhile, in Florida today, it started out the way it usually does. Tourists gathered for a show at Seaworld in Orlando. Then, without warning, something went terribly wrong.
When you look into their eyes, you know somebody is home.
They're an animal that possesses great spiritual power, not to be meddled with.
Orange County Sheriff's Office.
We need SO to respond for a dead person at Seaworld. A whale has eaten one of the trainers.
Tillicum is the one that went after her.
Dawn is the senior trainer here at Shamu Stadium.
She captured what it means to be a SeaWorld trainer, that it made me realize what happened to her really could have happened to anyone.
Kelly Coviella tells us that as the horrified audience watched, a killer whale attacked one of the park's most experienced trainers and drowned her.
Accusations tonight that SeaWorld is abusing dolphins, whales, and other animals, and PETA says it has the images to prove it. 10 News reporter Steve Fiorina is live in Mission Bay with the action the animal rights group is taking now. Steve.
Steve, it's a battle that goes to the hearts of people on both sides. PETA claiming animal abuse, SeaWorld saying that's groundless.
They've had aircraft, they had spotters, they had speedboats, they had bombs they were throwing in the water. They were lighting their bombs with acetylene torches in their boats and throwing them as fast as they could to herd the whales into coves. But the orcas had been caught before, and they knew what was going on, and they knew their young ones would be taken from them. So the adults without young went east into a cul-de-sac, and the boats followed them, thinking they were all going that way, while the mothers with babies went north. But the capture teams had aircraft, and they have to come up for air eventually, and when they did, the capture teams alerted the boats and said, oh no, they're going north, the ones with babies. So the boats, the speedboats, caught them there and herded them in. And then they had fishing boats with seine nets that they would stretch across so none could leave, and then they could just pick out the young ones.
The popular Shamu show at Sea hadn't become the park's largest killer whale, a 12,000 male orca named Tillicum, swam toward 40-year-old female trainer Dawn Brandshoe, and according to one witness, pulled her underwater.
I've been expecting somebody to be killed by a Tillicum.
We weren't told much about it, other than it was trainer error.
It didn't just happen. It's not a singular event. You have to go back to understand this.
The speedboats herded them in, and they could just pick out the young ones.
This is the worst thing that I've ever done.
When Tillicum arrived at SeaWorld,
He was twice as large as the next animal.
We stored these whales in what we call a module, which was 20 feet across and 30 feet deep, and the lights were all turned out.
Probably led to what I think is a psychosis.
All whales in captivity are all psychologically traumatized. It's not just Tillicum.
If you were in a bathtub for 25 years, don't you think you'd get a little psychotic?
Dawn would tell you that it was her mistake.
They blamed her.
It's just a bold-faced lie.
I was just instructed to get rid of the tape.
The industry has a vested interest in spinning these. That sells a lot of Shamu dolls. It sells a lot of tickets at the gate.
There's no record of an orca doing any harm in the wild.